Hey guys, Baller here. We are now on this last game. This is the 10th game. Long day, huh? And I still have a lot to do after this. Alright, man. That's how it is, right? Anyway, this is the game between Los Angeles Clippers and Portland Trailblazers. This will happen 10 o'clock p.m., so that's 11 a.m. here in Manila. Before we proceed, I'm just inviting everyone who have not subscribed yet to our YouTube account or YouTube channel, Pass a Baller. Please click on the subscribe button below. At the same time, hit on the bell logo. That way, automatically, you guys will be receiving notifications whenever new videos are uploaded. Los Angeles Clippers, they are having a record of 12 wins and 12 losses, and Portland Trail Blazers a bit behind them with 11 and 13. They're both in the Western Conference. The Clippers is sitting at the number 5 spot, while the Blazers are sitting at the number 10. Now, the story about this game is that both teams have been inconsistent and have been shaky for the past couple of weeks, man. The Los Angeles Clippers, we all know they actually had a very good start. At one point, Paul George was even awarded the Best Player of the Week award. Um, Portland Trailblazers, they had a struggle, but then they were able to pile up those wins. But here they are now. The Los Angeles Clippers can't figure out on how to get back to their old groove earlier this season. And for Portland Trailblazers, they're having a hard time because, as we all know, Damian Lillard is actually sidelined. For the past 10 games, Los Angeles Clippers have only won three times. Three times, man. Some of those games that they played, they didn't have Paul George because they had to rest him. Now, for Portland Trailblazers, for the past 10, they won five. So that's a bit, you know, decent, right? And again, Damian Lillard, has been sitting down for the past, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 games already. And on those games when Lillard was actually sitting the game out, I think they've only won once, and that was against Detroit Pistons, and they did that at home. Now, Portland Trailblazers, as we all know, Portland is actually doing better whenever they are at home, and they will be at home on this game. So that's 1 point for them. Both teams had their rest last night, so fatigue shouldn't be a factor. Health, I would have to say that Clippers would actually have the advantage because even though they also have some people who are sidelined, most of their starting lineup, especially Paul George and all, would be available. I don't see any reports here saying that Paul George would need to sit this one out, but let me double check just to make sure. Yeah, it's just Batum who would still be under the protocols that need to be observed. Okay, so that's 1 point for the Clippers. And as for the offense, and as for the defense, I gotta give it to Portland Trailblazers because of the trend that they're having at home. They're shooting better whenever they are at home. But for the defense, I gotta give it to Los Angeles Clippers. Ever since I'm not a fan of the defense of Portland Trailblazers. I mean, if not for Nurkic, they're like a freeway towards the basket. So yeah, 1 point for 1 point for Clippers in terms of defense, man. That's why this game is very hard. Again, both teams are struggling. Sometimes they'd win, sometimes they would lose. Again, for the past 10 games, they have been shaky. Let me check the spread on this. I think the spread, yes, it hasn't changed. Yep. Los Angeles Clippers is given the minus. Clippers -2. In terms of this scenario, or in situations like this, I'm on the side with Los Angeles Clippers, and let me just give you my reason as to why. Um, Simply put, they still have Paul George. At the end of the day, they would have Paul George, and if needed be, Paul George can still be PG-13. And Paul George has been getting a lot of help, lately, especially during that game against the Lakers. Luke Kennard, man, he has been shooting better lately. So there you go. Important Trailblazers, they don't have Damian Lillard, so McCollum would actually need to shoulder the offensive problem. So yeah, I think it will be the Los Angeles Clippers who would, who can actually take home this W. Plus the fact that they don't have just one 7 footer, so they can actually tire Nurkic out. All right, so my pick on this one would be Los Angeles Clippers -2. The Clippers -2. Peace out, pass and love, and God bless.